Welcome to Caravan of Garbage, everybody, the show where we look at something shit. Hey Mason, allow me to name some iconic Tomb Raider moments, and you tell me whether or not you also think they're iconic.
Okay.
The original Tomb Raider game.
Iconic.
The new games, which are way better. They're much better. Don't play the originals. Play
More iconic and better.
and better. One of the movies, the one with the robot dog, where she fights a robot dog.
Iconic in the sense that I don't know which one is which.
The Tomb Raider, the Trilogy short film. Iconic?
No, I mean I've not heard. Where did this is 1998, right?
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
Okay,
we've watched it.
We've watched it.
Spoiler alert: there's no element of being a trilogy in it.
No.
If we get we might get to the end of this and you'll be like, yeah, they didn't talk about the trilogy part. There's no trilogy part. I assume because Tomb Raider 3 came out. Did that come out in 1998? Okay,
so
right.
basically, it's a tie-in promotional video.
Short film.
So it's not even promotional because it was only shown internally for the creators of the game.
See, I wondered about it because I'm like, did this come out on on the CD-ROM or something? But it didn't.
Luckily, the original Digibeta tape was
Nice.
recently discovered. So in April of 2016, it was put on the official Tomb Raider page. So it's not kind of like, look at this is good. It's like, look at this throwback. How about
Yeah.
that? Fun's not the word, is it?
No, but anyway, it's on YouTube, so if you just want to... It's very short, though.
It is very short.
And it's interesting.
In what way?
In that it's very 90s.
Yes.
And it's very British.
It feels like Midsummer Murders or like
Touch of Frost.
Touch of Frost, Waking the Dead.
Yeah.
It's any of
because
those things.
Okay, there's 3 characters in it.
Yep.
Spoiler
Well,
alert.
4.
None of them are... Well, see, that's the thing. None of them are Lara Croft. There's a hard-nosed British detective.
Yep.
There is a sexy psychologist.
She's been pulled away from a gala. It's midnight. She's not happy.
That's right, yeah.
And there's a crack addict.
Evidently, it opens up on... It looks like it's going to be more hoity-toity than it is. Like it looks like it's going to be more lofty.
See a slender hand.
You see a slender hand. You see an Agatha Christie collection of plays on the desk. You see like a man smoking a cigarette. He's taking it from an ashtray of cigarettes which haven't been like old used cigarettes that haven't been smoked.
He's just mashed them in
What
there.
they've done, I don't know if they're fake cigarettes or real cigarettes, but they've just snipped the ends off and put them all in the ashtray.
Very good.
Hot tip for you: snip the ends and then light them for a second.
Also,
and then they look used.
This was a British film crew in the 90s.
Yes.
There was plenty of cigarettes. People would have smoked those cigarettes.
Exactly, that's
Would have taken
right.
30 seconds to get that ashtray full. So the cop has arrested this guy who he says was Spider-Manning at the Tower of London. Mm-hmm. So they brought him in because I think he's in some kind of trouble. He's an ice addict probably.
Yeah.
And he had some funny items on him. They flashed these really quickly, but I slowed it down. So
There's a key, right?
There's a key. There's a jade dragon, which I think might be from Tomb Raider 2, but I might be wrong. 2 pistols.
Yeah, 2 real guns.
They're
They're not prop guns. He's
No.
got 2 handguns.
That's very Lara Croft. And a fresh fish. So these are the things that this man had on him when he was arrested. So he brings in she's a psychologist to determine what's going on with him. Because there's no real through line or point to this.
We were expecting a lot, weren't we?
Yeah, we certainly were. I mean, it did screen eternally. We shouldn't be so harsh. So it's her job to...
For the game developers? Or
Yeah, I assume so.
No, for the game developers or for like the money people?
Maybe it's for the money people to be like,
Yeah.
look, this isn't just a video game. This is
serious
we've hired
business.
some people. And
Yeah.
some people who made this have gone on to win like BAFTAs and shit like that.
Huh.
Like
The actors?
I think some of the actors, like I recognize from other things, from other episodes of
A Touch
Midsummer
of Frost.
Murders and
Yep.
whatever. Yeah, that's exactly it. So the ice addict he's nervously twitching his thumbs. They're like, we couldn't get a print off him because his thumbs are worn down to the bloody. He's a bloody gamer, mate.
He's a gamer. That's what they're all like.
See, what is that? If that was widely distributed to the public, that's a weird shot at gamers, isn't it?
The
Look at
whole
these
thing's a weird shot again.
obsessive
If we can zip through real
Yeah.
quickly to the plot. So the psychologist goes in there to interview him.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What's your deal, man? What are you doing?" And he's like, I'm doing this to impress my girlfriend.
Yeah, she's in trouble, maybe.
Yeah, that's right. My girlfriend's in trouble. I gotta look out. You know, I've got to parkour around the Tower of London with 2 real loaded handguns.
Oh yeah, and also they cut to footage of his cell and he's just doing combat rolls and handstands for some reason. That's very Tomb Raider, isn't it? Probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah. Sorry, you were saying.
But yeah, and so she gets to the bottom of this, and she's like, she sounds like she's in trouble. You've got to tell me all the details about your girlfriend so we can finally help her. And he's like, here's my girlfriend, and hands her like a folded up little slip of paper. And then later she goes to the detective and is like, it's okay. There's no
mystery's
problem.
unraveling.
Mystery's unraveling. Here's the girlfriend. It's a picture of Lara Croft. So the assumption... So this isn't for gamers, because it's like, hey, gamers, you're a bunch of losers. You do nothing but play video games all the time. You wear your thumbs off. And you think you think Lara Croft, a fantasy woman, is your girlfriend.
You dummy.
But it's also not for like... You couldn't show this to parents, because it'd be like, hey, if your kids play video games, they'll go mad and leap off buildings firing guns.
That's exactly right. And it's also very loosely shows off the graphical capabilities of Tomb Raider 3. Like, he's talking about the Tomb Raider games, and we get snippets of them.
That's right,
Where he's like, yeah, when I met her, it was great, it was hot, and there was an adventure. Second time was even better, and that's Tomb Raider 2 and whatever. And he's like, but the third time, you should see all the graphics. The walls are real, and everything. And then they show, like, the in-game graphics of, Tomb Raider Trilogy or 3, whatever it's called. Uh-huh. And it looks absolutely fine for the time, but when you intercut that with real footage, it's the dumbest thing in the world.
There's a scrolling marquee thing that happens at the end when it hits its dramatic peak.
Yeah.
There's this scrolling text, and it goes, does Lara live in our world, or do we live in hers? And then it cuts to, he's looking out of his cell, and then it cuts to Lara Croft on like a roof of a building, and it swirls around here, and it looks like total garbage. Like we talk some garbage on this show, obviously, but this really shows to the extent to which how much we deluded ourselves back in the day. Of like, oh my god, this looks so good, it looks just like real life.
I think even having a 3D environment,
modern day Tomb Raider looks like real life. If you step back a little bit and squint, that could be real life. Video games can do that nowadays. Did you see this quite recently? A guy on Twitch, he streamed a pay-per-view UFC fight on Twitch for like people who couldn't afford to buy it or didn't want to pay for it or whatever.
Right.
And he got away with it by putting a little picture in the corner with him holding a controller and just clicking away at it. So people like the casual viewer who was trying to combat piracy or whatever would assume he was just playing the video game. Like that, you can get away with that now because those games look like that. Tomb Raider looks incredible now, but these 1998, who are you trying to fool?
I genuinely think though that's an impressive game engine for the.
Okay.
I mean, comparatively, everything looks like garbage.
But don't compare it to the real world,
Mason. But do we live in her world or does she live? What
She's
everything's
not real.
blurred.
Yeah.
Everything's blurred, Mason. I'm doing a handstand in a cell. I'm doing a combat roll. I'm carrying 2 guns. What's going on?
Where'd he get him?
Where did he get them? It's pretty difficult to carry a gun in Britain. That's my understanding, Mason. Having lived there for a little bit because I'm a man of the world. I don't know if you know.
Ugh.
Anyway, should people seek this out?
I think they should. It's only like 8 minutes long.
Well, it's 8 minutes and there's like 4 minutes of credits.
Sure, right.
This video is much longer than the actual.
It is a fascinating insight.
Yeah.
Do they still make this sort of stuff?
I think there was a time when I remember it got leaked, but Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant made like a
Tomb Raider game.
They made a Tomb Raider game. They made like an Office style skit from Microsoft. Like they'll probably pay like $4 million or whatever to do it. So I think it does still happen.
Yeah.
It's kind of to show off the capabilities, and like you said, it's to impress the investors and what their understanding of video games are and the developers and
they're
all that
for
kind
losers.
They're for losers
who cannot distinguish fantasy from reality.
Who whittle their thumbs down to nothing.
They just want to look at some pixelated boobers and pretend that's their girlfriend, and they'll pay through the nose for it.
It was the era of the nude raider hack,
for
wasn't
sure.
it? So, absolutely. Look, it's not the best Tomb Raider thing that's ever happened. That's certainly true, but they made it.
But it's the worst thing.
Is it the worst thing?
Yeah.
People say Angel of Darkness.
I don't know what that is.
It's like the first. It's called Angel of something. It's on the PS2. Maybe we'll get to it one day.
I'm going to assume that's the worst then.
Okay.
You know what's the worst? The movies are the worst. They're terrible. They're profoundly terrible. I would have rather watched 2 more hours of this than 2 Tomb Raider movies. One Tomb Raider. Yes.
Maybe we'll do one, Mason.
No, I don't want to.
Let's not do one then.
Okay, great.
Great. What a fun time. Thank you, everybody, for watching this or listening to this. You can find us every Tuesday here doing a Caravan of Garbage. We always look at a comic or a movie or a TV show or whatever, or a weird short film that didn't screen publicly.
Just a weird corporate branding synergy product. We'll look at that. We'll look at anything. We'll look at a breakfast cereal tie-in. Send us an old breakfast cereal from the 80s.
Yeah. Send us one of those ads from like a really old comic week and you can get big muscles by lifting a weight.
Ah, Charles Atlas method.
Yeah, that's it.
Send us some Hostess fruit pies.
Please. Send
yum,
us some
yum.
X-ray specs.
Oh, my goodness.
All of these things. You can also find us every Monday on the podcast, The Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. It is the #1 podcast in our lives, isn't it, Mason?
Oh, I guess.
We're in it.
Yeah, we're in it. That's
Okay,
true.
good.
You cannot lie about that.
Thanks, everybody.
Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.